Hi everyone. Last night, I've never been allergic to anything in my life, and last night and throughout this year I've been having severe allergic reactions, and we thought it was like anaphylactic shock, anaphylaxis. And then last night it happened again. My daughter has a EpiPen, so we used like an EpiPen. The ambulance kind of said, the 999 said use an EpiPen, and then they gave me some more antihistamines and then steroids at the hospital, and I don't take anything usually, so my body right now is just like ugh. Anyway, I opened up a big portal of love again, as all quite shocking, spontaneous events do, that are possibly the end of your body. And it was just as I'd was watching Karen Cornell near-death experiences, and it was explaining that, like, you know, this body is like 1% of our whole light body, our soul. Like, our light body is not this. If we want to leave this, you can just leave it. Like, this isn't your life. This is an aspect of your life. Yeah. But I was just watching that, and then I'm looking down, and all my skin's turning red and stinging. I was like, oh, I'm having an allergic reaction again. Okay. And then when my throat started going, it was like, oh, am I? Okay, I'm choosing to have another near-death experience. Okay, what is this asking me? What is this showing me? What is this teaching me? Do I want to go? Is that how I feel? Am I going to leave this? Am I going to exit? Am I going to? Was this the journey? Was this it? But I was like, no. You know, like, in that moment, it's an opportunity. It's an offering. It's like Source saying, what's your mission? What do you care about? Really, like, what are you here for? What do you feel that you haven't fulfilled yet? What's your quest? So that's why I use the medication, because I truly believe that there's actually no fear in, like, you can leave. You know, especially if you believe in consciousness and stuff, you can leave, but the whole purpose of you even grasping that you are consciousness, that you are light energy, means that you clearly have a really good intention to be here, and you can help so many others because they don't. So it's like really vulnerable position that you're put in, but that you chose to be put in because you know what you are. You know, it's almost like if you say, okay, I'm really good at football, I'm going to teach them to play football, but I feel really vulnerable knowing how to play football because they're all looking at me and they're nervous that they can't. And it's like, you just have to be the teacher. Like, it's fine. And obviously this is the game of ego versus no ego, and service to others versus service to self. So it feels like, oh, should I really say anything? Because there's all these like unknown rules of how you should teach and what you should teach, and the karmic effect, and putting your opinions on people. But it's all distorted. Like, if you know about Ascension and consciousness, you're here to lead this. You've got a mission. You're a mission soul, and you're here to have fun. Like, it's a holiday and a holy day. Every day is a holy day. So when like I went to use the medication and stuff, and then it gives me that feeling like, I do want to be here. I have got a mission. Like, no, I'm not going. So it's not this sense of fear that happens and takes over of like, I'm not ready. Like, please don't. I'm scared or anything like that. It's more like, what? Nah, like, this is a lesson just like anything else. This is just another moment. So just get filled with unconditional love. I get filled with the mission. I get activated to feel like this is a trip. Like, if someone goes to the pub for a beer, they don't know what's going to happen all night. They have a beer. Mine's a really fast, every single sensation, almost like when you're in deep meditation vipassana, when you can feel every single cell turning on. And then the whole surreal movement around you of people that love you, that are actually trying to keep you here, that are doing everything they can to relax you and take care of you, and do what the 3D needs to be them to fulfill, like calling an ambulance, and the ambulance people come, and it's all this trip being like, this 3D system is now coming to save my life, and then you're just going back and forth to be like, it's not 3D, it's all source, it's all love. The whole of experience is unconditional love. So the only thing that you can say about 3D is that, about anything other than source God, is that it's just a watered down version of love. It does not mean it's not love. The distortions, it's just that you're seeing it through the eyes of separation, through the eyes of service to self. So I could look and go, what do they care about me? They're getting paid. They just want to get paid. You know, you could sit there in this big, you could sit there and fear them. You could be like, okay, they're wearing masks. Are they, part of this? Do they really want to help you? You could, I'm just saying in theory, if someone was scared in that moment and thinking like 3D was actually out to get them, rather than, no, people don't know they're in 3D. They do genuinely do these jobs because it's their version of loving people. So although we could say, it's my choice whether this body wants to go, it's my choice whether this body wants drugs, all this kind of thing. They're like, it is your choice. But we're here to help you if you want us, just like a Ascension teacher is here if you want us. It's these different layers. Someone first goes to the doctors to say, I'm depressed. Someone on the next level goes to a hatha yoga class knowing they're a bit depressed and they could change their physical body. They end up at a meditation class with me because they're like, okay, I've sieved through some stuff and now I understand. You're my next teacher, you're my next resource, rather than antidepressants and a gym membership you never use. So as I was taken, then because the drugs they put in me, they said, okay, this anaphylaxis could just repeat, so it's best to come in. And I said, okay, well, I'm not coming in if I have to wear a mask or do anything to do with that. So is that a thing that's happening? And they're like, no, everything's just a choice. Obviously they're going to ask you to wear a mask when you go in. I said, well, no worries, I won't come then. I don't need that, I'm just having anaphylaxis, like I'm trying to breathe, like for one, do you know what I mean, bruv? Not doing that. But they were like, oh no, obviously it's not forced, just they will offer you. So that was interesting. And then I won't get into all of that kind of stuff with it, but it was just the main point that I wanted to jump on was because when you're in any weird situation like that, like you're taken, especially in this situation, this now reality, when you're being taken in an ambulance alone, when your body is vulnerable, with people that are completely pro that reality, pro that narrative, when you're unaware of what is going to happen, that's when your practice is the strongest. Because I was like, oh, I'm being called here to serve. Oh, okay, I'm being literally physically. That's always, whenever I have to go into a 3D situation, I know that I'm being called there to serve, because in serving involves yourself. It's the same thing. So by you putting yourself in these situations, because everything's a choice, by you putting yourself in these situations, you are asking to evolve, because you have to in that moment, but you also want to, and then you're like, oh, I get to. This is a super cool game. So through travelling alone in, the ambulance, they could, in the dark thing, anyone could do anything to you and you're vulnerable like that. Even the woman bringing me a tea, I was like, look, this is how trusting and loving people are in this world. It doesn't matter there's a hospital and there's, in theory, weird stuff going on with like dark forces. It's that we ultimately love each other. Anyone trying to help someone get better, even if they're prescribing them antidepressants, is because they ultimately have this like sense that they're doing the right thing, because you couldn't sleep at night if you generally were in like the health industry trying to harm. Like people would see through it, like the energy just wouldn't work. So all these people trying to help everyone in these situations and being like, okay, we're just going to swab you. And I was like, no, you're not swabbing me. Like, oh no, thank you, I'm fine for that. And they're like, but why? We're just going to swab you. Oh, if you have to stay, we'll have to swab you. And I said, no, well then I'll go then, because I'm not being swabbed. And then they made like funny jokes like, oh, it's not really that enjoyable anyway. And you're like, either you agree it's a necessity or it's not, and it's just an uncomfortable thing to make lightheartedness. But it is England, and that's what the energy here has always done. It's very, very been two-sided in the same breath, which is beautiful because it's a divine plan. That's why, like, Earth being at that heart chakra being on UK, Europe, but Glastonbury, it's just interesting because it's like this total two sides of the divine plan continuously playing out: passive, aggressive, submissive, control. And it's coming into that centre point. So the reason for this video was to accept that everything is just pure love. So when I was there, I was just like pulling in the light. I could see, like, obviously my eyes were closed. I was just in meditation while waiting there to make sure that my body was okay. So in the bed, I'm just pulling in the light, can see all of the, you know, bodies around me as different balls of light, all the different energies. Just like, if you were in that situation all day, like, no wonder you're going to be a bit confused, because it's just relentless movement, sound, like just so constant, which, you know, again just highlights how divine all this time has been to be within. Obviously, if you're on this path with me, you understand why, you know, you have a going within period, because it was completely essential and amazing. And then when you're offered those times to go out, that's when you learn and you observe. And mainly my times of going out are when I have to go to hospital for near-death experience. So it's really cool in terms of being like, that's a reality check when every single person is talking about that and still going to work, and just really focused. Like, even when the cleaner went by and I, like, you know, really smiling at him, and he said something like, "You right, John? Same as it always is." And you're like, wow, people are still head down, focused on just what they're doing in that day. And it's just fascinating thinking of how, you know, like having that mindset where you actually just wake up, that old mindset where you actually just wake up and you're only considering, you know, you. Your perspective. You know, like, oh, she said this to me, and they're like this, and I've got this going on, rather than fulfilling your purpose of unity, feeling that unity, but also everyone there, every single person has a complete fulfilled mission. Like, they're all literally doing what they came here for. It's just fascinating, and that's why one of the main hobbies of humans is people watching, because it's fascinating, absolutely fascinating, because it's a pure God's choice in every moment. Even gossiping about your boss and not actually saying anything to them, it's just hilarious. It's cosmic comedy. But for us mission souls, when you see it, when you're put in that situation, when you choose to walk into that, anything like that, you are the light. You came there because they needed your whole light to be shone in there, and you pull in so much resourcefulness. And I was like, who wants to come and co-create with me right now to share this experience and just penetrate into the field, pierce all these hearts, surround this whole hospital. Like, you can just feel the life and the passing and all of the just merge of people hoping they're doing the right thing and aiming to and working together and co-creation. It's just all of the main concepts of 5D living are there in 3D. It's just come from a different perspective. It's I know more and the hierarchy, and but you used to have a nurse, a cleaner and a doctor, like that's co-creation. That is co-creation. It's just that the intention, the outcome is that you've helped someone rather than them helping themselves. Like that's what Ascension's for, saying there are doctors that can give you the pill. They can give you a pill and you'll feel better in a week. Or there are meditation teachers, channelers, Ascension guides that will say, we can give you a teaching and you'd be changed for the rest of your life. So like they're helping from the 3D perspective that we are just a physical separate being. They're helping to the peak that they can and stepping through those veils and just tripping out on your light energy in those situations is really helpful to feel so loved, because the only thing that we want someone to feel is completely unconditionally safe, protected and loved in every moment. And realistically, when you're in a hospital, you can, but it's done from this victim mentality of I'm vulnerable, I'm lucky you're looking after me, but I'm the child and you're the all-knowing parent, which is beautiful again because it's exactly the same as any dimension. We are the child and there is an all-powerful, beautiful parent looking after us, looking over us, should I say. But when you're truly on this path, you know that that's not going to be your path for long. That you don't want to be ever... You're not going to walk the path of asking someone else to fix you. Not even in anaphylactic shock. You'll be like, oh, okay, well, either I can use my pranayama, I can literally control, because it's my choice. I'm choosing what's happening to me. And we're literally walking this path of complete alignment, purification, dedication to be that powerful, to drink the poison and not react, yeah? So just bearing that in mind, that you are wanting to step out of needing a medical option because you know that it's a 3D version of your actual reality. Like, we manifest illnesses, I manifested anaphylactic shock to have the experience to, and it doesn't come from someone saying, yeah, but how? Let's look at all of the reasons why. That's thinking, it's feeling. How do I feel in this moment after, if I even reflect on that? But the point is that the energy exchange happens regardless of what you're thinking about. So I chose to be very conscious of every single moment that's happening to me in terms of that. But, all of you awakened beings, you would have to be. You don't walk into a hospital knowing it's the path of ascension thinking, oh, this will be love and light, I'm going to teach them ascension. You walk in making sure that you're fully protected and that you're not in a position to be physically vulnerable. Like them, oh, we're just going to swab you. No, you're not. I'll go now, literally. Put my foot on the floor and was like, no, I'll go now. I said I wasn't coming if anything like that was going to happen to me. So it's, I chose to have that experience. I chose to be the bitch that someone else would look and go, I can't believe that's so irresponsible, and all that kind of stuff where you're just like, okay, like there's one of me and 20 of you, and guess what? I'm holding the space for you, your family, and your children's children, so it's all good. Yeah, know where you're at on it all, but I was just filled with unconditional love. And today, like, my body is so at peace, but someone else would call it drained. Someone in 3D would call it weak and slow, just impossible. It's like recalibrating, yeah. Obviously in 5D it would be like it's recalibrating. It's purged a lot, man, like a lot. Because I was just looking at them all and I was like, you all love. You're doing this because you completely believe in one narrative and you just love. You love us all. You're trying to protect us all. It's beautiful. I was like, I'm so grateful to be able to see the 3D, let's just say dark narrative, still as love, because it's asking someone, you know. And I heard a grandmother once say, have you got your keys, got your purse, got your mask? I was like, it's love. It's been narrated through fear, but we know what all the dimensions are, is fear or love, you know. So it's like it's narrated through fear to make you act in these certain ways, but you do it because you love. Like, you love your family, you love your species. It's such a beautiful game to be in, and it is a game. And yeah, it's time to pick your sides. It's time to see through the eyes of love only, because then when you're in those situations, there's no fear left. I'm seeing through the eyes of love. So what are you going to manifest? What's the reality? What are they going to do to you? How are they going to treat you? Through love, because it's an energy game. So you just close your eyes. You switch it all on to that white light. You get into your crystal column of Ascension. You're like, Earth, I came here to serve. I came here to give. And you're channeling Source. You're bringing Source white light in, and you're expanding and amplifying around the whole, wherever you are, whole situation, and you're just so at peace. And then when you open your eyes, if someone's coming to talk to you, you're excited because another being of Source light has come to co-create with you. Basically, I'm gonna have to eat even more purified, because it's these lessons of being like, every time these huge energy, because my daughter has similar things, when there's certain astrological happenings, she has reactions. So we're having these reactions in terms of the energy that's going through. So fascinating. But I wanted to jump on and explain that to you, if you have listened, that see through the eyes of love. The feeling of love, of being in a situation like that, is you're like, how would a child feel when going, hopefully if they had to go to hospital, they just trust everyone, they'd feel like they were safe, they're in the right place, and that everything's going to work out fine. So then take that 3D, 5D upgrade, that pulling in the feeling of unconditional love is that, but from a higher perspective. I'm like, I know that I choose to be taken care of, not that they are here to take care of me. I choose to be taken care of. I choose to live from a state of unconditional love. I choose to live from a place of safety. I choose to feel completely anchored in my mission, and here to serve. I choose to feel completely relaxed at one. I choose it. So you're getting the same concept as a child would if they were in that situation, but it's from your perspective out, not from them giving you, oh no, don't worry, we know exactly what we're doing. Someone brought me like 6 pills over and said, here, and I was like, oh, what are these? And she was like, that's a good question, I'll just go and check. And I was like, cheers. But I did joke to myself, and because I was writing, I was like, my biggest problem in here is that this tea's too hot. So, you know, that's when you count your lucky blessings, when you're like, yeah, I know, I just had a near-death experience, it's fine. It could, oh, whoa, I could have gone back to source, but I'm actually here to change the planet for every single generation to come. So this clearly, I know, was just another experience, just like having a shower. I could slip over and bash my head and die, but I don't walk around the shower going. And when you're having those experiences, you take them for what they are, and you use your practice, and you're like, I'm literally choosing to have an allergic reaction, to go to the hospital, to learn what's going on, to stand up, to shine my light there. Like, that's just the truth. That's literally the truth. Like, that's what you do in every moment. You choose. So I hope that you choose every moment to realise that you're choosing. So whatever negativity, whatever stuff like that's coming up with you, you're choosing it because you want to learn, because you're a freaking light leader, you're a freaking mission soul, and nothing stops you. You see through the eyes of unconditional love. You see from a heightened perspective in every moment. That's what you came to do. That's your possibility. That's what you're going to have to do one day or another. But then you don't have to. You realise you get to do that. You get to be like, I can see love coming at me because I only can see it. Yeah, don't seal the dark. But in terms of seeing a hospital, it was literally like plucking the strings of a whole body harp, because you're like, ding, oh okay, I can see that timeline of fear, and you're just like, no, love, 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 love. So that can be really scary out there. I can imagine facing different timelines the whole time of, you know, conflict and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I can just advise to just appreciate if you are not having to go to work and that kind of stuff, and just really rein it in and go within, because we're being offered a complete gift. It's a blessing to not have any other energy actually near you, so that you can work on yours being so strong that when you do go into those situations, you're shining your light for them. They're not coming in. They're being pulled in to you. You know, it's beautiful. So thanks for holding space for me. I'm just going to do a lot of breathing today, because that's how it feels, heavy and misty. It feels like I've got just like a loads of sludge on me, which is obvious because that was a lot, and that was the only talking I'm going to do today. I'm absolutely exhausted now. I love you so much, and thank you so much for walking this journey with me. It's incredible, and the teachings now are going more towards how we are one cell, how we are that fractal of the divine, how we truly are here to purify the whole cosmos, and explaining that, and that just the unconditional love, the love is the whole point. When you feel that within, then you have no fear. So it's like, well, what are you manifesting? A perfect reality, or can the negative reality not get you? It's a complete yin yang ping pong. Okay, I only can see through the eyes of love. Okay, so there's darkness all around me. What are we saying? Chicken or the egg? Can it not come in because I'm love, or does it not affect me because I'm love? Doesn't matter. Matters that it works. I love you.